Not about the cancellation, but I mean, you know, we can talk about your travels some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm just a headset away. Okay, here I am. All right. Okay. Slate. Well, hello, one and all. Glad to have you joining us for Red Barn Radio. I'm Bradford Becker, your host. Tonight we continue in the 22nd season of Red Barn Radio, and we welcome you to show number 835. Tonight's program, one I have been looking forward to for many moons, features music by an artist who is a regional treasure. I'm talking about Sarah Kate Morgan, a singer, songwriter, and extraordinary practitioner of an instrument which many play but few master. Born in Tennessee, Sarah Kate Morgan has been playing dulcimer since she was 7 years old. Within 10 years, she became so proficient on the instrument that she won, I believe, just out of high school, or was it maybe even earlier, first prize at the prestigious National Mountain Dulcimer Championships at Winfield, Kansas. Welcome, Sarah Kate Morgan, to Red Barn Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Well, you are in for a treat this evening. Sarah Kate Morgan is here with us on Red Barn Radio. What she brings to Mountain Dulcimer is unique and powerful, and the same goes for what she brings as a person. Sarah Kate also carries with her to the many stages she graces from here to New York and New England, yet another instrument which really can't be overstated, and that's her beautiful voice, which is perfect accompaniment for the instrument she plays. Sarah Kate has performed and or recorded with roots music giants such as Tyler Childers, Alice Gerrard, and Aaron Marshall, and Carl Jones. I promise this evening's program will fill you with joy and also bring to you a new appreciation for the mountain dulcimer. Welcome, Sarah Kate Morgan.
Well, thank y'all so much. It's so nice to be back at Red Barn. I grew up in East Tennessee in a place called Sharp's Chapel, and this song is a traditional tune about the Cumberland Gap, which is just north of where I grew up. Come on, boys, take a little nap. We're all going down to Cumberland Gap, Cumberland Gap, Cumberland Gap, way up yonder in the Cumberland Gap. No, I won't get drunk no more. No, I won't get drunk no more. Cumberland Gap's a real fine place, 3 kind of waters to wash your face. Cumberland Gap, way up yonder in the Cumberland Gap. No, I won't get drunk no more. No, I won't get drunk no more. Well, thank you. Every Saturday morning, we watched a local PBS program called Riders of the Silver Screen, and they showed mostly like B westerns, black and white westerns, and it was so much fun. And I watched a lot of Jean Ritchie, and so this is a Jean Ritchie song. Well, I might have gone fishing. I got to thinking it over. But the road to the river is a mighty long way. Well, it must be the season, no rhyme and no reason. And I'm taking it easy. It's my lazy day. Well, never mind calling, 'cause I ain't a-comin'. Just get you on by me. Well, stay out of my way. Well, little deep thinking might drive me to drinking, and I'm taking it easy. It's my lazy day. Well, I might have gone fishing. I got to thinking it over, and the road to the river is a mighty long way. Well, it must be the season, no rhyme and no reason, and I'm taking it easy. It's my lazy day. Well, I might have gone fishing. I got to thinking it over, and the road to the river is a mighty long way. Well, it must be the season, no rhyme and no reason, and I'm taking it easy. It's my lazy day. Well, I'm taking it easy, and it's my lazy day. Thank you. sister, she makes 3. Oh, I'm leaving in the morning, and that's the last you'll see of me. And I've been all around this world. My darling, won't you take me by the hand? My darling, won't you take me by the hand? Oh, and I will be your woman if you would be my man. And I've been all around this world, but my darling, he won't give me the time of day. My darling, he won't give me the time of day. While my heart is here starving, oh, he's giving his love away. And I've been all around, and I've been all around, and I've been all around this world. Well, thank you much. It takes a special person to want to hang out and listen to just dulcimer by itself. I feel the shadows now upon me, and bright angels beckon to me. Before I go, dear sisters and brothers, won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all warm. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our song. My burden is heavy, my way has grown weary. I have traveled the road that is long, and it would ease this old heart, dear brother, if you come and sing one song. Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all warm. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments until we meet where there's no more sad parting. Won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments we stood shaking hands and singing our songs.
All right. So, Red Barn Radio listeners, have you ever heard Sarah Kate Morgan play before? How do you like it? I think I know how you like it. Yeah. Sarah Kate, you said just a few minutes ago that it takes special people just to sit here and listen to dulcimer alone. I would say that's maybe true, but it's not just dulcimer alone. It's you playing the dulcimer.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And it's you singing, and it's your presence, and it's just great to have you here.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Brad. I always
Yeah.
love being here.
Yeah, well, good. So let's see. I think what might be interesting first, at least for me personally, would be to know a little bit about where dulcimer sort of falls on that timeline of instruments that we would call sort of old-time folk music
Yeah,
instruments.
totally.
I think banjo, fiddle, preceding dulcimer, or is that not true?
Yeah, so banjo and fiddle would be older than the dulcimer. The dulcimer is a relative of several European instruments, the zither and the schieholt and the hummel, which are Scandinavian instruments, German instruments. And they were brought over, as a result of folks, immigrating to the States and settling the mountains, settling the Appalachian region. And, these instruments are super complex. Like zithers have like 25, 30 strings, and they're like crazy, like just beautifully built instruments. There's a great tradition of building these instruments. But, when you're settling the mountains and you're just working on survival, there's not a lot of opportunity to build these complex instruments. So the dulcimer is a simplified version of these European instruments, and using scrap wood, using whatever you had around. And the dulcimer sort of kind of emerged as its own unique instrument around 1850s-ish, but it's hard to nail down wherever the first dulcimer existed.
Have the dulcimers, as you understand, you've studied this, you know the answer to this question.
Oh, maybe.
Has the instrument evolved over the course of, I don't know, the last decade?
Oh, totally,
The last century, rather?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's actually really exciting because we think of this instrument as traditional, whatever that means in our own, and however we want to define that. But the dulcimer is really a new instrument in comparison to violin or guitar. We have decades of pedagogy and building and to like refer back to. But the dulcimer, we're just kind of making it up as we go. It's the first like truly American instrument that was developed in the States, and so the instrument has changed a whole bunch. It used to be a lot smaller. And dulcimers are getting bigger. They're getting more guitar-like. Their tones are sounding more like guitar. Like they're getting louder. The frets now go across all three strings versus before dulcimers just would have a string, a fret under just one string, and the other ones would be drone instruments.
Are we talking about changes that have happened since you started playing?
Since I've actually, yes, there have been some changes since I've started playing. There's the dulcimer is diatonically fretted, so if you look at the spaces on the instrument, the big spaces and little spaces, the big spaces are where the whole steps of the musical scale are. And so since I've really started playing in the past 20 years, they've added a fret. This one here, which is the flat third, that there. And it allows you to play more chords and more melodies, but it's definitely a work in progress.
It allows you, so it allows you to play. It allows you to make sounds that are more akin to guitar.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Right. Huh. So that makes it an instrument that maybe has become better for melody?
Oh, yeah, totally. So, well, the dulcimer first was sort of an accompaniment to just vocals. And the instrument, there was no really standard tuning. Each instrument was sort of tuned to the singer's voice. And now we're getting more standardized, standardized chord shapes and things. It allows you to play melodies all over the instrument as opposed to just on one string.
And so is the instrument that you play, is it called an Appalachian dulcimer, or is Appalachian dulcimer a style of playing?
Oh, that's a great question. It was born and raised in the Southern Mountains, so I like to call it the Mountain Dulcimer or the Appalachian Dulcimer. But what's exciting is there's more dulcimer players today than there ever have been. It was like before folks like Jean Ritchie or Richard Farina or Joni Mitchell in the folk revival. The dulcimer was pretty rare even in the mountains. And now there's communities of people all over the world playing. Next fall, I'll be in the UK playing some dulcimer with folks over there, and there's folks all over the world playing.
Huh. Yeah, when I think Joni Mitchell probably was the first dulcimer music I ever heard. But I have no idea. I know she brought the instrument to a large audience, sort of the way I don't know, R.E.M. brought mandolin to from Losing My Religion. But I don't know, is she a dulcimer player who broke ground on the instrument?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Talk about that.
Joni Mitchell has a wild style in the instrument. She tuned the instrument way down to almost like a Hawaiian slack key, real floppy strings. And she learned this cool percussive style of playing, where she would do this cool slap with her wrist. And I can't do it anywhere near as well as she can. But you can
Case of You, like the song Case of You.
Yeah.
Right.
She'd do that, yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
Neat. Wow. Okay, so then what is it that actually drew you to the instrument? I know you were gifted an instrument from your grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And is that how the instrument landed in your lap?
Yeah, it totally. Yeah, my grandfather.
As it were.
Yeah. My grandfather, he at the time was retired from working at Alcoa Steel Plant in Alcoa, Tennessee, East Tennessee. And he was dabbling in a lot of different hobbies, and he did a lot of oil painting. Very prolific oil painter. I have lots and lots of oil paintings from him. And he played harmonica a little bit, and he dabbled in woodworking, and he built a dulcimer. He built it from a kit, and he actually kind of built it backwards, but it was still workable. And my folks found it tucked away after my grandfather had passed away, and thought, let's make Sarah play this for a bit. Yeah, and it was something that I at first was not sure if I was into, but after that first year, it really opened up a whole new world to me.
And did you have teachers?
Yes, yeah, I had my wonderful friend June Goforth. She is near Knoxville, Tennessee, and I started taking lessons from her. And she was so amazing. And she was when she is a retired gym teacher. So when you did something right, she was really excited, and then when you did something wrong, she was also really excited. So it was intimidating. But June still plays, and she's taught hundreds of people over her lifetime. But yeah, she was my first teacher.
Was it one of your teachers who said to you, Sarah Kate, you should compete?
Yeah.
What took you to Winfield, and how old were you?
I was 18.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So I was right then. It was right just
yeah.
after high school. Or?
Yeah, just after high school. I've had a lot of folks in my life that were encouraging me to compete, and I think I just wanted to push myself and just see if I could do it. And it was a lot of fun.
So I don't, when I think about competitions like instrument competitions, I'm most familiar with fiddle competitions, that world, and it's kind of cutthroat. There's a lot of hot dogging.
Oh yeah.
Right, and so I don't think of like hot dogging dulcimer players. Is there or is it like that also in dulcimer competition?
No,
where you get out there and you try to be fancy.
It's a little more chill. I think. I mean, there's all these little dulcimer contests at little old time festivals, and I don't remember it ever being particularly cutthroat. It was always the folks that I competed against were really encouraging and really sweet, and there was not the level of the mean fiddle players.
Yeah, those
just
are
sweet little hippy dippy dulcimer players.
And so was Winfield your first time like really playing that instrument for a big audience? Because I got to believe that you had quite a few people there.
Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, it was scary, but it's been a long time ago. But I'm glad I did it.
You seem so totally at peace when you're playing. And are you totally at peace when you're playing, or do you get nervous when you perform?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always a sense of like excitement that, those nerves can be channeled in a lot of different directions. You can either be excited, nervous, or you could be scared, nervous. I've been it all. But I think it does feel really at peace. Playing this instrument just feels like it connects me to my family, and it connects me to this place. And it's just after you've been playing for 20 years, it feels just at home in my lap. And it really is like just part of my voice, as a person at this point.
Well, speaking of the voice, did you grew up singing in the church? You were part of the Quaker church. We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
And when I think of the Quaker church, I don't really think of quaking much. I think more of sort of reflection and quiet. I don't think of Quaker services as being services where music drives the worship. More that music sort of accompanies the worship and sort of sets the stage for reflection. Was that the kind of Quaker church that you grew up in?
Yeah. We went to a little Quaker church in Friendsville, Tennessee, which is where my grandparents went. And that's a great way of putting it. Music as not performative for anybody. It's just your own. Singing to yourself more than anything. And there was always, as with many Quaker services, there's a big chunk of time in the middle where it's quiet. And sometimes folks will stand up and share what's on their heart, or they might lead a song. But there's always like that moment in the service where it's driven by the people. It's determined by like what's happening in the room, which is really special. And it's very one of my core memories is hearing this really big, tall grandfather clock ticking as everybody's quiet in the congregation.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Huh. So did you sing songs that came out of a Quaker hymnal, or were the songs songs that sort of were drawn from other sort of Southern Christian church traditions?
Yeah, from what I remember, they were mostly drawn from Methodist traditions and Baptist traditions, and you know, sort of the greater catalog of Southern hymns. But.
So, you know, we have so many people on the program here, understandably, right? Since we're a program about the music of Kentucky and the music of the South, it's always sort of connected to church.
Yeah.
What do you think we learn from starting our singing with hymns? How do hymns teach us in a way that, I don't know, listening to Elvis and other stuff on the radio doesn't teach us?
Oh goodness! Like, I have so many fond memories of singing some of the most beautiful poetry that is just lifts your spirit and lifts your mind to greater things, and to you know, I think in Southern life and in Southern Appalachian life, hymn singing and church was like a respite. It was like the first moment in the week where you're not working, you're not worrying about, you know, getting the next, you know, waking up early the next day, getting to work with whatever you're doing. You know, it's very, it's sort of the first moment where you can rest and reflect. And you know, hymn singing really shaped so much of my writing and my playing, and that sort of the template of hymn singing has really stamped itself into my songwriting in a way that I can't get away from.
Yeah, right. Hey, folks, we're with Sarah Kate Morgan on Red Barn Radio tonight. Sarah Kate Morgan has just recently recorded, I think, an EP called the Dead Street Sessions. Is that true? Is that the most recent thing you've recorded? This is according to Spotify.
Oh, yeah. So my friends down at Dead Street Sessions, based out of Pikeville, we put together a live set of 5 songs where we recorded in the weaving room at Pine Mountain Settlement School.
Oh, very nice.
A beautiful space to record.
All right, folks, welcome back, Sarah Kate Morgan.
Well, we can't be talking about Kentucky and talking about the dulcimer without playing a little Jean Ritchie. Jean was a ballad singer and a songwriter and a dulcimer player from Perry County, Kentucky, in Viper. And she brought the dulcimer to New York City with her when she moved there as a young woman and became a social worker. And she got swept up in the current of the folk revival, and she played with Bob Dylan and played with all these, and Pete Seeger and all these people that were discovering folk music, or, you know, traditional music for the first time. And she brought her dulcimer and brought it to a greater audience for the first time. This is a song that she wrote about a mining incident that happened in May of 1968 at the Hominy Hills coal mine in Hominy Hills, West Virginia. And what had happened, there was an operational mine with a continuous mining machine that had punched through the wall into an abandoned mine that was not on the charts. And this abandoned mine had filled up with water, and once this continuous mining machine punched through, it flooded the operational mine and stranded 10 miners back in the recesses of the mountain for about a week. And she wrote about that, and wrote about the experience of the effects of extractive industries on the people at home. And this is her song called West Virginia Coal Mine Disaster.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, do you want to say anything else about the songs that follow?
Yeah, I'll follow this up with a Bath County, Kentucky tune from a fiddler named George Lee Hawkins. It's called Goodbye, My Honey, I'm Gone. say, did you see him? It was early this morning. He passed by your houses on his way to the coal. He was tall, he was slender, and his dark eyes so tender. His occupation was mining, West Virginia his home. It was just before noon, I was feeding the children, when Mosley came running to bring us the news. Number 8 was all flooded, many men were in danger, and we don't know their number, but we fear they're all doomed. So I picked up the baby and I left all the others to comfort each other and to pray for their own. There is Tommy, 14, and there's John, not much younger, and their time soon is coming to go down the dark hole. And if I had the money to do more than just feed them, I'd give them good learning, the best could be found. So when they growed up, they'd be checkers and weighers and not spend their whole lives in the dark underground. His poor little children, and what will I tell to his mother at home? And what will I say to my heart that's clear broken, to my heart that's clear broken, now my darling is gone. Thank you, thank you. In addition to watching B Westerns on Saturday morning, I watched a whole lot of Andy Griffith's show. Every day on Channel 10, 4 o'clock, 2 episodes. And so this song was loosely inspired by the Andy Griffith Show, by a particular character, and if you guess it, then you get a hearty thumbs up. Well, nothing much happens in this town no more since you packed up your guitar and walked out my door. Your songs, they're a-playing on my radio. This town would have held you down. You went off to Nashville to sing out your heart, sending money home to mama. You're doing your part. We hear you on Saturday on the Grand Ole Opry, but I'd swear you were singing to me. And you gave away all of your secrets in the very first song that you played. The lights, they were dimmed. You were reeling me in. You're singing all of the words you can't say. Well, TV came to our town 3 weeks ago. We gathered in our kitchens and watched how it glowed. We saw Nixon, we saw Woodstock, we saw the man on the moon. But then you came on, singing a tune, and you gave away all of your secrets in the very first song that you played. The lights, they were dimmed. You were reeling me in. You were singing all of the words you can't say. You wrote me a letter right after you'd gone, but after 3 years of red carpets, you don't write at all. It seems you've forgotten the muses you've had, but I still hear this town in your songs. And you gave away all of your secrets in the very first song that you played.
Well, it's not Otis. It's got to be Opie.
Not quite. Not Opie. No.
Oh,
no.
come on. Well, I never thought Opie is. You said loosely.
It was kind of based on a character in the first season, Jim Lindsay, who was a guitar player, and Barney and Andy would arrest him so they could jam with him in the jail. And he was a local hero. Then he moved off and made it big, and then came back and then left again.
Damn, that is obscure. That's not fair.
Only the true fans know.
Hey, really, I guess. I thought I was a true fan. Well, we've got lots more music and conversation with Sarah Kate Morgan, but I do want to take a moment to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience, along with our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in Central New York. Don't miss one single episode of our program. Be sure to tell other people what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. And now I get to tell you about next week's program. In recent years, Kentucky has experienced an unparalleled boom in its ever-growing singer-songwriter scene. It harkens back perhaps to 40 and even 50 years ago when Texas brought forth a slew of song slingers like Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt and Nancy Griffith and Lyle Lovett and Jerry Jeff Walker, so forth and so on. Red Barn Radio is really proud to have been positioned as we were in this resurgence in our own state. We continue to enjoy seeing how the music of new Kentucky singer-songwriters draw energy and inspiration from the Kentucky music they heard as middle and high school kids. Next week's guest, Luke Trimble, is one such guy, born and bred into Kentucky music. In fact, Luke was raised himself on local music. Once little more than a dot on the landscape, his hometown of Paintsville became known as the epicenter of new sound, a place from which seminal artists Chris Stapleton and then Tyler Childers would emerge. Luke's not to be lost in the mix. His debut EP, Nothing to Lose, released in November of 22, is of great interest. He continues to grow his following. He's got a new album on the verge of release and has assembled a great band to support it. Luke Trimble is our guest next week on Red Barn Radio. Don't miss this one. In studio and on Red Barn Radio's live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And now back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Sarah Kate Morgan, to Red Barn Radio.
When fall comes to the mountains, there's going to be a whole lot of little small town festivals. And we just had one in Hindman, Kentucky, where I live, called the Knott County Gingerbread Festival. And of course, there's so many, like the Woolly Worm Festival, the Apple Festival, the Honey Festival I saw. It looked so much fun. And
Marina does the spoon pudding.
oh, yes,
right.
yes. And growing up in Tennessee, we had the Heritage Festival, of which I won the pie contest. Just, no big deal, just letting you know. So and Knott County is known for their gingerbread. And it's kind of a local tradition, a local treasure. Everybody has their own gingerbread recipe. And this is a song that wrote about the Gingerbread Festival like a couple years ago. Watched him sitting up near downtown, watching the word spread around town like wildfire. See him coming in from miles around, and for one night down to another nothing town, where for one night everything it'll be alright. For the one night the carnival's in town. A year later, the rain poured down, flooded the soft field near downtown where joy abounded. The carnival, it don't come around now, but for that one night everything, it was just alright. For the one night the carnival was in town. The carnival's coming around. The carnival's coming to town. I tell you what, it was the most exciting thing that happened in Hindman that whole month. So a bunch of us were sitting on the bridge down by the downtown field and watching all these trucks come in and set up all the rides. It doesn't take much to keep us entertained, that's for sure. I grew up also singing a lot of Appalachian ballads and story songs. And this is a ballad I learned from a ballad singer in Eastern Virginia, Donna Ray Norton is her name. And she sang this ballad, and I learned it a long, long time ago, probably 12, 13 years old. And it always stuck with me. And I ended up writing a couple extra verses at the end. And so this is a song called Single Girl. When I was a single girl, had shoes of the very best kind. But now that I'm a married girl, go barefoot all the time. Wish I was a single girl again. And I wish I was a single girl again. When I was a single girl, I'd go to the store and buy. Now that I'm a married girl, go ragged all the time. Wish I was a single girl again. And I wish I was a single girl again. When I was a single girl, I'd go to the store and buy. Now that I'm a married single girl again. Got the dishes and clothes to wash, spring to go to. Girl, when you get married, Lord, you got it all to do. Wish I was a single girl again, and I wish I was a single girl again. When your feller comes a-courtin' and takes you on his knee, keep your eye upon the sparrow that flits from tree to tree. Wish I was a single girl again, and I wish I was a single girl again. The winter's past, the leaves are green. My husband's in the ground. This house is cold and empty. No youngins running around. Wish I was a married girl again, and I wish I was a married girl again. And I wish I was a married girl again. Well, thanks, y'all. Brad and I were talking about like growing up singing music in church, and you know how that shapes my music now, and this is a song that I wrote a while back that I like to call this gospel adjacent, because it's not quite gospel, but it's not quite heathen neither. It's somewhere in the middle. This is a song that I just recorded with some good friends called Heaven in My Mind. I'm gonna see my daddy coming home from helping a lamb to be born in the early dawn, the early dawn. I'm gonna see my mama in her snow-white hair, asleeping in her reading chair, talking to God, talking to God. That's where my weary feet will be when I leave this world and in heaven be. That might not be what you'd expect to find, but that's heaven in my mind. Heaven in my mind. I'm gonna see my friends and neighbors there, passing the time in folding chairs under the shade, under the shade. I'm gonna walk down to the swimming hole, let the muddy water soothe my soul and make me whole, make me whole. That's where my weary feet will be when I leave this world and in heaven be. That might not be what you'd expect to find, but that's heaven in my mind. Heaven in my mind. I'm gonna see the ones the world forgot and pushed aside without a thought, without a name, without a name. I'm gonna see the ones the church refused to love, although their hearts were pure and their hands did good, their hands did good. That's where my weary feet will be when I leave this world and in heaven be. That might not be what you'd expect to find, but that's heaven in my mind. Heaven in my mind. I'm gonna sit on heaven's front porch swing, watching the lightning bugs light up the rain. I'm gonna throw my fishing line into Jordan's stormy banks with you. That might not be what you'd expect to find, but that's heaven in my mind. Heaven in my mind. Heaven in my mind.
All right. Okay, Sarah Kate, I do have a couple more questions about the instrument
Yeah.
itself, if we can
Totally.
do that. I'm kind of curious to know about the materials used for dulcimers. Are they the same kinds of materials that are used for guitar, like an Adirondack or a spruce top and a mahogany side and back, or are other woods used as well?
Yeah, totally. This is well, this one has spruce and walnut. Spruce on the top, and then walnut on the back and sides, and then ebony on the fingerboard. A lot of instruments, a lot of dulcimers are built with like native Appalachian hardwoods. There's a couple folks that have taken down. There's a great builder in Townsend, Tennessee. His name's Mike Clemmer, and he runs around and scavenges old barns and like some really beautiful chestnut, wood you can't find anymore, really.
Yeah.
But mostly like native hardwoods is sort of the what most dulcimers are built out of.
Is that an instrument that was made especially for you?
This one, yeah. This one is built by my good friend David Beatty in Florida. Yeah.
Huh. All right. And do you have multiple dulcimers that you travel with?
Not so much anymore. I used to have a whole passel of them, but just one's all I can handle.
Well, you mentioned that they're getting larger, and I could imagine, a player like you having, somewhere you want to get a bigger, fatter sound,
Yeah.
out of your instrument. But you don't. But you're not one to tote around a bunch of them.
Not really.
Is that the beauty of playing an instrument like that? Is
Yeah.
it can just
Yeah,
simple-
I get pretty spoiled. I mean, it's got 3 strings, and it's got it's pretty light to carry around. I feel pretty lucky sometimes when I'm loading in. And I'm just like, I'm here. I just have my one instrument. Yeah, but dulcimers. This one's pretty simple, but there's instruments that like are chromatic, or I've seen some solid body electric dulcimers which are crazy, but there's a lot of people doing cool stuff building them.
Do you do any electronics with it, or do you always just play to a mic?
This one has a pickup, and so I've plugged in with that, and I've recently been experimenting with some pedals, and with some cool pedals and delay and fuzz and
Ooh.
neat overdrive things for some punk bands back in Whitesburg.
You
which
don't
been really
you don't
fun.
mean like you don't mean the punk band Slut Pill? do
Yes.
you?
Yeah. We did a show we did a couple shows. We did one here in Lexington about 2 months ago, and we had they do this cover of Shady Grove, and so it was super fun to play dulcimer with that. I felt like such a rock star. I'm not used to being that loud.
Well, that's actually leads to another question I was going to ask you, which is, do you have in mind to sort of push the envelope a little bit with this instrument to sort of expand people's notions about where this instrument belongs and doesn't belong? Do you have in mind, I don't know, is there some crazy projects that you can envision becoming involved in coming years?
Oh man, I mean,
Wide
the
open.
sky's the limit with the dulcimer. It's you said it so well earlier. Lots of people play, and that's one thing I love about the dulcimer. I love that it is the least gatekeepy instrument. I think, like, I can sit down with anybody. I bet you $5 I can sit folks down, and within 5 minutes they're playing a song, and they sound good. They don't sound terrible. You don't have to suck for years in order to like actually make a good sounding, a simple song played well is just a joyous thing to behold. And so as a music teacher, it's like so rewarding to teach dulcimer, because people get it, and it's easy. It's 3 strings, it's diatonic. It's easy to pick out songs you already know. But the sort of flip side of that is, because it's so easy to pick up, oftentimes folks kind of write off the dulcimers. Oh, well, that's all it can do, the simple, real simple stuff. But it's the dulcimer is just as complex as any other instrument in terms of chord shapes and inversions and scales and all different kind of modes you can play in. And I'm lucky to play it and be able to bring what I can to the instrument.
Yeah. All right. So we ought to talk about Heinemann, because folks maybe don't know that you've been there for 3 years, and one of your roles there, I'm sure they have you doing a lot of different kinds of things, but your principal role there is sort of music director.
Mm-hmm.
You do also travel and teach. Yeah, talk
Yeah.
talk first about the school itself and the mission of the school, and then
Yeah.
specifically about your job.
Yeah, it's a special place. I'm lucky to be able
Yeah.
to live there at Heinemann Settlement Schools in Knott County. It's been there, founded in 1902 as a settlement school for the region. They were the first rural social settlement school, and bring in education to rural parts of the mountains. And now the settlement school role, part of what I do is a traveling music teacher for the county. In a lot of rural school districts, there's not access to arts education, and there's minimal arts education in that school district, and with a lot of rural school districts, where the budgets just don't allow for it. And so Heinemann steps in and tries to fill that gap, and I travel around and play music in all the local schools, and we have after-school music lessons. A lot of kids playing the dulcimer and fiddle and banjo and guitar, and bringing art and music into the schools, but also art and music that is tradition focused and Appalachian focused, and sort of keeping folks mindful of their regional history that they can be proud of and identify with and claim as their own.
Yeah, and so the music mission of Heinemann is not all that different from the music mission of Cowan Creek.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
yeah.
what Cowan Creek tries to do, the music
Absolutely.
school there.
Yeah, yeah,
which is down in Whitesburg.
Yeah, just our neighbors
Whitesburg.
down in Whitesburg. We love. I bring a lot of our music students from Heinemann down over to Cowan Creek, and they had a lot of fun.
So now, you've been at Heinemann for 3 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So when I came to visit there, it was probably then your first year.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, right? And it was a kind of a cataclysmic.
Right. It was started a new job in the middle of COVID, which was crazy. But
Yeah, but and then came the flood, and I mean, could you talk a little bit about that and tell people about how your area specifically, why your area specifically, kind of in some ways became like the epicenter of the worst kinds of things that could happen with a flood?
I mean, when that historic flood just devastated, the area, Knott County, along with Perry County and Letcher County were some of the worst hit, and there was about 7 feet of water running down Main Street, right in front of my house. So it was crazy, and it was, but it was, Heinemann is a small town, small knit, and so people. It wasn't even a question of whether or not you were helping your neighbor. It just happened, and some of the most I've seen, just in that whole event, I saw some of the best of people that I've ever seen. Some of the most loving and giving people and that I've seen in my whole life. Just showing up and asking no questions, didn't matter who they were. Their differences didn't matter. It was just they showed up and helped. And Heinemann Settlement was sort of one of the many sort of little epicenters of help where folks could come and stay if their house had washed away. And so we had a lot of folks staying with us. We had like 27 people and 11 dogs, which was kind of fun having a lot of folks staying with us for a while, and we had some amazing volunteers from all over the country came in and cooked meals and gave out supplies for several months, and it was scary to be there, part of it, but it was an honor to be there too and serve and do what you could.
Was there some restoration of Heinemann required of the school itself?
Yeah. Our bottom level of our offices were flooded, and my office with a bunch of musical instruments were flooded. So sad. But the morning after the water went down, some folks and I went in and rescued a bunch of student instruments, and we were out there rinsing fiddles off with a garden hose, and and it was kind of funny. We lost some dulcimers and fiddles and stuff, but them banjos, they survived like you wouldn't believe. You just hose them off, they're good to go.
The banjo playing a joke on us now, right?
Exactly. You can't kill it. You can't squash it. But
wow, I'm sure that was a life-changing experience. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how about this past year for you? You've done some traveling.
Yeah.
Talk about where you've been and what you've done.
Oh goodness. I've been able to record and play music with some great people this year, and traveled. Did a couple weekend shows with my good friend Tatiana Hargraves. That was fun to do, and
Great fiddler.
One thing that was a real joy and pleasure was being a part of Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven, Tyler Childers' second most recent recording, and played dulcimer on a couple tracks, which was really fun, and played a couple shows featuring that album. So it was really cool bringing dulcimer to that big sound and bringing a little bit of dulcimer to it.
Oh, all right. Well, talk more about that. It was Radio City Music Hall, right?
Yeah, we played a couple shows. We did Red Rocks, and we did Radio City Music Hall, and then we did Bonnaroo, which was wild.
I
but
guess.
It was so much fun, and it was so much fun to play with. I mean, oh my gosh, just it's just such an amazing team of musicians, and yeah.
So yeah, but stop understating. So what was it? What was it like to? I mean, that's a huge crowd. And so, were you actually on stage with your dulcimer, performing with the band?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, my good friend John Haywood was there too, and folks that Tyler incorporated into that album, and just being part of the ensemble was really fun, and there were so many people in the audience. It was almost too many to even process that there was that many. So I wasn't hardly nervous at all. It just felt like just a sea of humanity.
Were you able to see? Were you able to view them, or were the lights too strong for you actually to make out what was going on?
Yeah, that probably helped too. Couldn't really see. But it was really just having the best seat in the house at a Tyler Childers show.
Well, yeah.
It was super fun.
Did you get to sing too?
No, I didn't sing, but it was fun.
How could you have missed that opportunity?
It was just fun to play.
Well, I'm glad we had you all to ourselves tonight. Sarah Kate Morgan, thanks so much for making the trip here to be with us and for sharing your music with our audience, who I know is just having a great time. And look forward to just continuing to watch what you do and follow you around as much as I can.
Well, thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me.
All right. Let's get back to music with Sarah Kate Morgan on Red Barn Radio.
I wrote this song as part of a songwriting class where I went to where I got my undergrad at Morehead State in an undergrad in traditional music and Appalachian studies, and my good friend Ruth McLean was teaching a songwriting class, and she encouraged us to go to an event and then write a song about whatever you went and observed, and so I went to a square dance. Well, you go dancing with me, my darling. Well, you go swinging all through the night. And if we go dancing together this evening, I'll make it hard for you to say goodbye. Oh, seeing you swinging with your neighbor makes me want to make you mine. But a better dancer in this whole county, oh, I'd be hard-pressed for to find. Well, you go dancing with me, my darling. Well, you go swinging all through the night. And if we go dancing together this evening, I'll make it hard for you to say goodbye. Girls, keep your partners on your left side. Gents, keep your darlings all on your right. And if you stumble, just keep on a-smiling, and everything will turn out right. Well, you go dancing with me, my darling. Well, you go swinging all through the night. And if we go dancing together this evening, I'll make it hard for you to say goodbye. I'll seeing you waltzing I'll do another square dancey tune. This is a Rockingham Cindy. This is a hoedown.
Where'd you get your whiskey? Where'd you get your dram? I got it from a little girl way down in Rockingham. Well, rock and roll Cindy, rock and roll Sam, rock and roll Cindy way down in Rockingham. Well, when I went to Rockingham, I did not go to stay, but I fell in love with a pretty little girl and could not get away. Well, rock and roll Cindy, rock and roll Sam, rock and roll Cindy way down in Rockingham. Well, when I kissed my Cindy once, it was so nice, but the second time I kissed her, asked her to be my wife. Well, rock and roll Cindy, rock and roll Sam, rock and roll Cindy way down in Rockingham. Her head is like a coffee pot, her nose is like a spout, her mouth is like a fireplace with ashes all wrecked out. Well, rock and roll Cindy, rock and roll Sam, rock and roll Cindy way down in Rockingham. Well, rock and roll Cindy, rock and roll Sam, rock and roll Cindy way down in Rockingham.
Well, thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I'll finish up with another one of my favorite Jean songs. This is a beautiful. I love the sentiment of this because it's about not trying to move too fast quickly through the bad times, because you can learn so much from them, and letting the rain come, letting the clouds come, but looking forward to seeing the sun shining through. This is a song that she wrote called "And I See That Rainbow Shine."
Oh, the dark was a-comin', and the day was a-fallin', and I thought that the day was done. But the rain kept a-rainin', and the clouds kept on movin', then broke out the golden sun. And I see that rainbow shine. I see that rainbow shine. Look over yonder on the top of the mountain, I can see that rainbow shine. I was feeling so gloomy, so tired and lonely, and I felt so lonesome and old. But the rain kept a-rainin', and the clouds kept on moving, then broke out the golden sun. And I see that rainbow shine. I see that rainbow shine. Look over yonder on the top of the mountain, I can see that rainbow shine. if you have a heavy load and your life is too hard for you, just keep your eyes on the changing of the skies, and the light'll come a breaking through. And I see that rainbow shine, I see that rainbow shine. Look over yonder on the top of the mountain, I can see that rainbow shine. Look over yonder on the top of the mountain, I can see that rainbow shine. Look over yonder on the top of the mountain, I can see that rainbow shine. Thank y'all.
Beautiful. Well, there are many people to thank for our program. First, Sarah Kate Morgan, our guest on tonight's program. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. It's NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests in our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. You can sign up for our weekly email newsletter. It will let you know who is coming up next with bio and links on our guest. Reach out to us. That's at news@redbarnradio.com and put subscribe in the header. Also, let us know where you hear our broadcast and what you think of the program. It means a lot to us. Again, that's news@redbarnradio.com. Now, before we close out tonight's program, let's bring back Sarah Kate Morgan for one more tune.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right.
Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee one by one. One was a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee two by two. Two was Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee three by three. Three were the Hebrew children. Two was Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee four by four. Four was four that stood at the door. Three were the Hebrew children. Two was Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee five by five. Five was five that come out alive. Four was the four that stood at the door. Three were the Hebrew children. Two was Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee 10 by 10. 10 were the 10 commandments. 9 was the 9 that stood in line. 8 was the 8 that waited at the gate. 7 was 7 that didn't get to heaven. 6 was 6 that didn't get fixed. 5 was the 5 that come out alive. 4 was the 4 that stood at the door. 3 were the Hebrew children. 2 was a Paul and a Silas. And 1 was a little bitty baby who was born, born, born in Bethlehem. And I say born, born, born in Bethlehem. Thank you.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Hey, remember this. Every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, get out and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. From all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.